Welcome back to History Podcast, everyone. I'm Gustavus.
And I'm Kristina. Today we are talking about one of the most just completely wild battles of the Great Northern War, the Battle of Narva in 1700.
Absolutely, Kristina. For our listeners who might not be familiar, the Great Northern War was this massive, two-decade-long conflict that fundamentally reshaped the balance of power in Northern Europe. It was a real clash of empires.
That's right, and the Battle of Narva was one of its earliest and most dramatic moments. It really set the tone for the first phase of the war.
Oh, this one is an absolute classic underdog story. So set the scene for us, Kristina. We've got the Swedish Empire, led by the, let's say, very young and very aggressive King Charles XII.
Exactly. And they're up against this huge coalition. Russia, Denmark, Norway, Saxony, Poland, Lithuania, all trying to challenge Swedish power in the Baltic. So in November of 1700, Russian troops are besieging the Swedish city of Narva.
Right, in modern-day Estonia. And this is where the numbers get, well, completely insane.
They really are. The Swedish relief force that Charles is leading is only about 10,500 men.
10,000. And the Russians?
The Russians have somewhere between 33 and 37,000.
So what, at least 3-to-1 odds? Probably more. That's a slaughter waiting to happen.
It should have been. And get this, the Russian commander-in-chief, Tsar Peter the Great, the Peter the Great, he leaves the day before the battle.
He just packs up and leaves his massive army? Why?
Who knows for sure, but he hands command to this foreign officer, Charles Eugene de Croix, who had no prior military command experience.
You're kidding. So an inexperienced general leading an army 3 times your size, and Charles still marches right at them.
He does, and then the weather steps in. On the morning of the battle, a massive snowstorm kicks up, and it's blowing directly into the faces of the Russians.
Perfect cover. So the Swedes just used the blizzard to sneak up on them?
Like something out of a movie, they launched this incredibly rapid, forceful assault, and within minutes, they'd broken through the Russian defenses. It was instant panic.
I can't even imagine the chaos. So the whole Russian line just collapses.
It did. Thousands of them start retreating, and they all rush for the main bridge, the Kamperholm Bridge, which then collapses under the weight.
Oh, no!
Yeah. A total disaster. So many drowned. The battle was over, and it was a stunning, stunning Swedish victory.
And the casualty numbers reflect that, right? They're just unbelievable. The Swedes lost what, like 600 or 700 men killed?
Around that, yeah. The Russians, they lost between 8,000 and 9,000 killed, wounded, or drowned. And up to 20,000 were captured.
20,000. Plus, the Swedes captured basically all their artillery and supplies. So this is it. This is Charles's moment to march on Russia and end the war, right?
You'd think so. Some of his advisors were begging him to, but he didn't. Instead, he turns his army south to deal with Saxony, Poland, Lithuania.
Which in hindsight was maybe the biggest mistake of the whole war.
It really was. That decision not to pursue Russia gave Peter the Great the breathing room he needed to rebuild his army, modernize it, and, eventually come back and win. In fact, he retakes Narva just 4 years later.
So Narva was this incredible, decisive victory that ultimately didn't decide anything. It just sort of paused the conflict and cemented Charles's reputation as a military genius, but a poor strategist, maybe?
A perfect summary. One of history's great what-ifs.
Well, that's all the time we have for today on History Podcast. Thanks so much for listening.
Join us next time for another story from the past. Bye, everyone.